The source of infection is unclear. Health authorities are really clueless how these four family members from South Auckland caught COVID-19. They have no history of recent overseas travel. There are no known links to people working at the border, no known links to people working in quarantine or managed isolation facilities. Health authorities really have no idea how these four family members from South Auckland contracted COVID-19. We know that urgent contact tracing is now underway. Mass testing will take place. The government is expecting tens of thousands of people to be tested for COVID-19 in coming days. Existing community testing centres in Auckland will have their capacity increased. We can also anticipate that pop-up testing clinics will be established. The Director General of Health, Dr. Ashley Bloomfield, says this is a wake-up call against any complacency that has set in New Zealand. Of course, we had gone 102 days with 0 cases of recorded community transmission.
It was inevitable that New Zealand would get another case of community transmission. The health system is well prepared, and the important thing now is that we stop the spread of the virus in our community.
In 4 hours' time from midday local time, Auckland will be plunged back into lockdown, moving into level 3 restrictions. This means that Aucklanders are urged to work from home. Schools will be closed except for students of essential workers. Pubs, restaurants and cafes will be closed except for takeaways. There will be a 10-person limit on restrictions. Aucklanders also advised to wear masks when they are out in public, such as visiting the supermarket. Now, restrictions will also be imposed in the rest of the country from midday today, also for a 3-day period. The rest of New Zealand will move into alert level 2. This means that social distancing practices will need to be adhered to when people are out in public. There will also be a 100-person limit on gatherings in place. These restrictions will initially be in place for a 3-day period. The Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says in the coming days it is incredibly important to ascertain the source of the infection and to determine the spread of the outbreak.
Jackson Williams.
These 3 days will give us time to assess the situation, gather information, make sure we have widespread contact tracing so we can find out more about how this case arose and make decisions on how to respond to it once we have further information.
Peter, as for the political implications, well, the election campaign kicked off on the weekend. An election here in New Zealand is only 5.5 weeks away. All major parties have suspended their campaigning for the time being. The Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says it is just too early to say what impact this outbreak will have on the scheduled September 19 election. Jacinda Ardern says her absolute focus right now is on dealing with this unfolding health crisis.